Hey, good morning. I'm Dano and I'm the founder of Dannyokec Enterprise. So I'm going to be teaching you on how I've been able to make profits from BTC, which is Bitcoin, despite the dip. So before I actually start this tutorial, I must start and I must state that this is not the financial advice. This is something that's been working for me. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to work for you, which is one. Two, this is completely free of charge. So there is no product selling, there is no subscription. This is not me telling you to buy anything from me. This is me just giving you a blueprint and a strategy of what I've been doing. So now let's get started. So this is coming from somebody who has 4 BTC. I set it up with 4 BTC and it's been working perfectly fine. So now what is the strategy or how have I been making money from BTC despite the dip and drop in BTC price? So before I actually get started, I must actually try to purge away the normal mentality I've been seeing people broadcast. So I've been seeing lots of discussions regarding cryptocurrency, and every single person has been clamoring for the price of BTC dropping down, and people have been selling their BTC in panic. So how come I'm making a whole lot of money out of it? Now the first thing I do is I don't get to look at BTC value from the price of BTC or from the current price of BTC. I get to look at BTC on itself. Like for instance, one BTC might be worth $50,000 today, and then tomorrow it drops to $45,000. Now the average person sees the price of BTC has dropped, which is in dollars, and then they feel BTC has reduced its value. Yes, they can actually be right from their own point of view, but I don't get to see it that way. So when I'm making profit from BTC, I'm not actually making profit in terms of USD. I'm only making an additional BTC. This whole thing might actually be a bit beyond your understanding, but I'm going to try my whole possible best to break it down the best way I can. So the first thing and the most important thing I want to really do right now is to tell you why BTC its own has a bigger value. So let's start with this way. As year processes or year progresses, the price of BTC will always go up despite the fluctuation. Now the year 2018 was one of the mid year of BTC. It went close to $20,000, after which it dropped. That was 2018. That was roughly 3 years ago. Today BTC is almost times 2 of what it was worth. So if you are actually thinking of making a whole lot of money from the little increase in BTC, you might not really be making more money or money at all. You only get to make money from BTC in the long run. Now, from someone who has lots of landed property, I can really tell you that landed property doesn't just appreciate its value immediately. Now, let's say for instance, years ago I bought some plot of land at Ibejuleki. Now, as of when I bought this plot of land, if I had decided to sell this plot of land almost instantly, I wouldn't have sold it with profit. So let's say for instance, you buy a plot of land for 3 million naira at Ibejuleki years ago. If I had decided to sell that same plot of land a month later, I would have still struggled to sell it for 3 million or even less. Landed property only increases after a long period of time. Now, take it from 3 years ago. If you're to buy a landed property at Ibejuleki in the next 6 to 7 years, you wouldn't buy a property less than 15 to 20 million. Now, what is the difference? The difference is if you had bought a plot of land at Ibejuleki 3 years ago and you decided to sell within that year, you wouldn't have made a whole lot of profits. But holding on to that plot of land till a long period of time, that plot of land gets to appreciate. Now, funny enough, this is the same thing that applies to BTC. Everybody keeps on talking about the price of BTC in USD. What they get to forget is BTC will always increase in value. Now, I don't make money from holding BTC, so how do I really make money from BTC? Now, if you don't really know me, I think I should introduce myself properly. I'm Dannyokec, you can call me Dannyokec, and I'm the founder of lots of platforms. I'm a programmer and I specialize on automating things. So I go to study cryptocurrency after I made a very big mistake. 2018, I bought a whole lot of BTC. When BTC was dropping down, I quickly sold out of fear. That was one of the biggest mistakes I made years ago, but I'm happy I've been able to recover any loss I incurred years ago. So then I got to discover something as of this year, 2021, and I discovered that BTC always increases, and even if it gets to reduce, it will always increase. So I started thinking of a way to make money from when BTC drops in price. So I started up with a Binance account. So what I simply did was to flip or switch to USDT. If you don't know what USDT is also a currency just like other cryptocurrency. Let's say BTC is currently at $50,000 right now, and then I feel BTC is going to be dropping down or it's been declining a bit. What I automatically do is to sell. I can sell immediately, it drops to $49,000. So BTC was $50,000, it has dropped to $49,000. Immediately I'll swap to USDT. Now it stays at USDT. Now all I simply have to do is to wait longer. If BTC drops again from $49,000 to, let's say, $42,000, that simply means BTC has even dropped more. What I will simply do again is to swap from USDT to BTC, because I know BTC will be going up again. So I think the easiest way to do it is to just really plot a graph. Whenever BTC is going down, I sell. So if it's 50,000, it drops to 49, I sell to USDT. Now the question is, why am I swapping or switching to USDT? That is simply because, one, Binance gives you the ability to switch from one coin to another coin, and two, USDT is the most stable coin. You have been checking the price of USDT from last year. You get to see USDT doesn't really drop. I think if it drops, it's less than 1%. USDT is very much stable. So when I switch to USDT, it stays there. It's like now this is like BTC has dropped to 49,000, and I've moved over to what's it called, USDT, and I have 49,000 worth of USDT. Now all I simply have to do is to just wait longer for BTC to drop to, let's say, $42,000 or $45,000. Once BTC drops to $45,000, immediately I'm going to swap back again from USDT back to BTC. But this time around, if I'm coming back to BTC, I'm not coming back to get back my one BTC. I'm coming back to get one BTC and an extra BTC. So I think the easiest way to actually explain this is to simply use an easy explanation on a number. So let's say, for instance, BTC is $55,000, and then it drops to $50,000. All I simply have to do is to swap or sell at $50,000 for USDT. So now I have 50,000 worth of USDT. Now I wait longer as well. If BTC drops to $40,000, if I'm coming back again to buy $50,000 worth of BTC from my USDT, I will no longer buy one BTC. I will now buy one BTC and 25. That is 1.25 BTC. Now remember, I sold my BTC at $50,000 for USDT. Now BTC has now dropped to $40,000, but I still have $50,000 worth of USDT. If I'm to use that $50,000 worth of USDT to buy BTC, all I simply have to do is okay, $40,000 for one BTC. The remaining $10,000 gives me 0.25 BTC. So what I simply do is, each time it drops, or before it drops so much down, I get to sell for USDT. Once it drops down and I know it might start going up anytime soon, I sell back to BTC. So that way, the price of my BTC keeps on increasing. But now the real fact is, why really gets to make profits? You might actually look at it that way. If I get to buy more BTC, that is profit for me, because I'm not actually being moved by the price of BTC right now. All I'm more interested in is acquiring as much BTC as possible. If you've ever owned a landed property, you know that landed property gets to get more value as time goes on. So a landed property worth 5 million today might actually be worth 12 million naira in the next 6 to 7 years. The same thing with BTC. We're actually forecasting by 2025, BTC should be worth over $100,000. So I've been capitalizing on this whole future prediction. Whenever BTC drops, I switch to USDT. I wait longer. If it drops more, and I know it's going to be coming up soon, I switch back to BTC. So each time I switch, I gain more BTC in additional. And I know in years to come, when BTC worth at least $100,000, I should be making a whole lot of profits. Now, this thing might be very difficult doing it on your system manually. If you decide to get this stuff done, if you decide to be on Binance trading 24/7, it might really be much of a problem for you. So the best thing to do is to create up an extension that will do the swapping. Now, a lot of people don't know how to create automatic extensions. So if you've been following me up, for instance, I created an automatic betting extension that works on BetNaija. So all you simply have to do is to open up your BetNaija account. It will automatically do the betting for you. Now, I did similar thing on my Binance. So all I simply had to do was to create a call event. So whenever BTC drops, or whenever it's noticing a drop in the graph, it automatically switch to USDT. And then whenever it's beginning to increase, there is a particular configuration I get to use. It works on percentage. Whenever BTC is going down, I swap to USDT, or it does swap to USDT. Then the moment it goes down and it's about rising up, it automatically again swap back to BTC. So whenever BTC clamps up again, I'm already having extra BTC. Now, have I really made money in USD, which is in dollars? I don't really care, because 10 years from now, when I look at my BTC wallet, it should be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not running into millions of dollars. Thank you all. This is Dannyokec, and I'm going to be giving out this extension free of charge. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we're not selling anything here. This is not me telling you to buy any product. The extension for my Binance is going to be given out free of charge. If you have been following up my YouTube channel, all you simply have to do, download this video, share it on your Instagram, share it on your YouTube. If you have ever used my automatic betting extension, the same way you installed it on your computer, that's the same way you install the Binance extension. Thank you all. This is Dannyokec.